Alright everyone, welcome. Today we'll be talking about the key of all keys, the quadratic formula. Okay, so the last couple times we've been talking about how to solve quadratics, and you can do it by factoring, or you can do it by tables, or you can do it by graphing. Honestly, the easiest way is graphing, but I'm not going to hold that to you. Okay. We also learned last time about completing the square. Okay. Some of you guys might not like that one as much. It's kind of neat how it works, but whatever. And today we're going to talk about the quadratic formula. It's one of the most important ones, okay? Because this one actually will solve any problem, okay? Anything I throw at you, you will be able to solve. So let's say, for example, I had a negative 3x squared plus 5x minus 7 equals 0. Okay, so here's my usual quadratic formula. Alright, now the quadratic formula actually looks like this. It's actually x equals negative b, 241, 251, plus or minus the square root of 4, or b squared minus parentheses, I like to put that in parentheses, 4ac, parentheses, and it's all divided by, I probably could do a better line. Let me do a better line. Let's get rid of that. Let's go 9, a little bit smaller, all divided by 2a. Alright, so that's the actual formula. Okay, now here's some cool things about it. This thing right here is the discriminant. Okay, that is the discriminant, and that can actually tell you a couple things. So I'm going to go off on a little bit of a tangent. Okay, so the discriminant can actually tell you a couple things. If b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0, then you have two real answers. Okay, so that's kind of cool to know. I like that. Okay, now if b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0, then you have one real answer. Okay, and if b squared minus 4ac is less than 0, and this will lead into the next thing too, then you have two imaginary answers. Okay, I'm kind of writing off the screen. / no real answers. We'll talk about that later. Okay, so those are the three situations that could pop up from that. So you can plug this stuff in real fast and just see how many answers you're going to have. So like for example, this is going to be my A, this is going to be my B, and this is going to be my C. Okay, so I just plug it in real fast, just check it out. So 5 squared is 25 minus parentheses 4 times negative 3 times negative 7. Okay, all right, and as you can see, this number is going to get really big really fast. Okay, so 25 minus 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. Negative 12 times negative 7 is 84. So this just becomes positive 84. Okay, now if you check that out, that is actually going to be, I want to say 69, but it's not. It's going to be 59. It's going to be negative 59. Okay, and so that means I have no real answers. That doesn't mean I stop answering this. It just means I have two imaginary. Okay, two imaginary answers. So when I solve for x in this, I'm going to have it all in here. Okay, I plug in 5, so I get negative 5 for b. Okay, there's the plus or minus. So if you ever wanted to learn how to type plus or minus on your keyboard, press Alt and then 241 on the number pad, and then square root is Alt 251, and then it's going to be, we've already done the calculation, so I'm just going to put in negative 59 there. Okay, and then 2 times a, which is going to be the -6 down there. Okay, all right. So we have pretty much everything set up, and as you can see, we can't do the square root of a negative. So I'm going to introduce the idea that whenever you do the square root of a negative, so all 251. Okay, I want you to rewrite it as I alt 251 of the positive number of whatever it is. Okay, so if you just rewrite it like that, you should be fine. So this one actually turns into x equals -5 alt 241 alt 251. Oops, I should probably have the I there in front. I'm going to write it so you can see it. Alt 251 root 59. Okay, so that's looking pretty cool so far. And then we actually have the -6 down here. Okay, and once you have this, you should be, this should be one of the answers choices that you could have. Now, if you have to understand, this represents two different numbers. Okay, one is -5 plus alt or I alt 251 root 59 all over -6. Okay, and the other one's going to be -5 minus I alt 251 square root of 59 all over -6. Okay, so as long as you understand that there's going to be two numbers there whenever you're working with it, you should be fine. Okay, now if you can simplify the square root, please do, and thus simplify the answer. Now the cool thing is that these answers will not show up when you're graphing. So if you're trying to graph and stuff, okay, you're not going to see those. Alright, so now what is actually happening with this graph? Okay, just a quick picture representation. It's either being like this, or in this case, since a is negative, it's probably being upside down. It's not going to cross the x-axis, but there still is going to be answers for it. And what we're going to do is we're going to call them the imaginary answers. And see, as you can see, there's two imaginaries, there's just the I. And we'll learn about complex numbers next time, just to go more in depth. But whenever you see a square root of a negative number, just put an I in front and then change that number to positive. You should be good. Okay, that's it for using the quadratic formula. I highly recommend use it whenever you get stuck and everything, but the two main methods you probably should be using is quadratic formula and graphing to get your exact answers. Okay, thank you. Have a great day. Bye.